my refrigerator wasn't making ice, so I went to the user manual to figure out what could be the problem. So when I thought about that, I was like, man, I think it'd be cool if we have that for human beings, because I don't know, I've been through some relationship kerfuffles. B, you and I have shared this. I shared a good amount of it on this podcast. So my thing is to if I take the time to really extract the lessons and get to know myself better, I can get into better relationships that are more fruitful, that are more collaborative, that are more loving.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where this came up, this whole idea of a user manual. So if you are someone that is getting in relationship or interested in being in a relationship, whether that's romantic relationship, business partnerships, social relationships, this is a great episode for you to tune into. Ooh, child.
Ooh, child.
Ooh, child. I love that song.
Good song.
And things are going to get easier. Things are going to get easier. I kept telling myself this today when dealing with my former wife and kid became a toothache. I was like, woo, child, things are going to get easier. So, people, what's up? I bet you didn't realize this is the first time you come in here to the More Than Black and White Health podcast that we sing. Okay, we sing on this piece. We even dance and we catch electric shock. We do a whole lot of things, B, don't we? Right?
And what we mean by we, it's Paul.
Yes, yes, that's correct. Correct, yeah, baby. How you doing, bro?
Happy New Year, my man. Happy New Year. Another year in the books, man. Yeah, I'm feeling blessed. Busy day, productive day, as always. Try to make my days productive.
Always, yes.
Bro. And I'm a little embarrassed because usually I'm on point with a lot of things, and I just totally forgot we had a podcast today. So it does happen. I'm very organized, and it does happen. I'm sitting on my couch, and I'm like, man, my night doesn't seem like fulfilled as usual. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, shit, I got 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're like, oh, Chuck.
Let me get in here. So, yeah, I'm a little, I'm not living up to my potential today, but all good. We'll make it work. We always do.
Always make it work, bro.
We always do.
Make it work, bro. That's what it's like being in a relationship with you, bro.
Yeah, man.
We make it work, bro.
That's it.
Work, you know. And listen, for people that are showing up, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for subscribing. My name is Paul Newell. I'm a writer, group leader, service champion, and share of wisdom. And I'm here with my host, B. B, who are you, bro?
Brian Rankin, co-host of More Than Black and White with my boy Paul, entrepreneur, investor, student of the universe, love to obtain knowledge and experiences and share wisdom that I've learned throughout my life. So, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, bless up, man. I think one of the things that that Brian and I are really passionate about is gratitude. And we're grateful for you all. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being on this ride. To our YouTube subscribers, to our IG subscribers, yo, get up over on YouTube and subscribe, man. Because you put us in another stratosphere. But yeah, listen, man. But seriously, thank you. And listen, going into it, we have some things coming up, and we want to hear more from you. We want to hear what are some topics, like of all the things that we've covered a good amount of things. We're in the 80s on episodes when this is recorded, right? So what do you want to hear? Talk to us. Like B and I, we're students. You hear us say we're students, bro. You think because we're sharing some wisdom, we're free of learning some stuff, bro.
If there's any guests out there you want on the show, we'll do our best to reach out to them. Worst case, they can say no.
That's it. Yeah.
It's all right. So let us know.
Please, as I'm drinking my strawberry shake, it's delicious, by the way. That's delicious. So this topic, we cover, our intention here is for you to be a champion for your health and well-being. So we've covered a lot of things. And this topic that we're going to cover today is along the lines of knowledge of self. So how this all came about, and Brian, bless up to my dude Brian, because I come to him with some crazy ideas and thoughts. Like, hey Brian, how about Nebulon 5? He'll say, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, so I came to Brian with this thing that I thought of when I'm dealing with relationships. And I said to Brian, I said, hey man, I'm doing this thing right now. I'm thinking about getting in this relationship container with this woman. And I thought it'd be a good idea before we go into it, we create a user manual for ourselves. And I thought about that because, like, I was like a couple days beforehand, my refrigerator wasn't making ice. So I went to the user manual to figure out what could be the problem. So when I thought about that, I was like, man, I think it'd be cool if we have that for human beings. Cause I don't know, I've been through some relationship kerfuffles, B. You and I have shared this. I shared a good amount of it on this podcast. So my thing is to if I take the time to really extract the lessons and get to know myself better, I can get into better relationships that are more fruitful, that are more collaborative, that are more loving.
Mhm.
So this is where this came up, this whole idea of a user manual. So if you are someone that is getting in relationship or interested in being in a relationship, whether that's romantic relationship, business partnerships, social relationships, this is a great episode for you to tune into. And B and I are going to go through some stuff. Well, I'm going to share some stuff that came up for me as I was going through this, and we're going to enjoy the show. But before we get into that, B, I like, can you share with the people what was going through your mind when I came to you with this idea, bro? I'm curious too.
So you got to convince me. I'm not totally on board with the user manual yet. The way I look at it, I do think it could have some applications. Is that a word? Applications?
I know.
Application?
We just made it
Yeah, yeah.
one.
I was never good in English. Applications. So I was like, for me, I like relationships that just kind of flow. You know, so if you're like, I've seen people use this before where they like tell like their significant other like, hey, every Sunday at like 7 o'clock, I want to sit down and watch a movie with you. But if they feel like they have to do it and they don't want to do it,
Mhm.
you're going to start having a little bit of resentment. It's kind of like you got to kind of gonna just like like the hermeticism law, right? Law of rhythm. Some days you're not into it. Some days you are. It goes by how you feel. So I'm interested in hearing your point of view. I don't know if it's that objective or there's a little bit of a bend in there. You can be a little more flexible with it. But that was my first thought when I said that. I thought they come with like, all right, 7 o'clock every Sunday morning, we're going to do this. At 8 o'clock, we're going to do this. At 9 o'clock, we need this. 10 o'clock, we need this. So I was like, I wouldn't get her. If I was a woman, I wouldn't get in a relationship with that. But
That may be part of it, bro.
I'm interested in learning more about it and kind of see. So
Yeah,
I'm just here as a student, and you're the teacher, and we'll see what happens.
dude, I freaking adore you.
But I
I
love it though. I love that you bring different ideas. I never even would have thought about that. Maybe I'll create a user manual for Hayani.
listen,
See what she.
bro. Listen, don't tell her you got that idea from me though.
Oh yeah, you're signing that. You're autographing that book when I give it to her. You're. I'm not gonna. This is not on me. This is a
The,
50.
yeah, listen. Well, now I know for certain that I will never be getting another invite from Brian's house. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. But wait, I appreciate you saying what you said, man, because this was because I like to hear that feedback because I get sick of that stuff too, bro. Like I've tried that. I've attempted that stuff like, hey, well, on Sundays at 7, well, I have some other things in mind, but like I'll just because this is public show. On Sunday at 7, we're gonna cuddle.
Mhm.
And even if you don't feel like cuddling, we're gonna cuddle anyway. So I wanted it to be different than that because I see where you're coming from. And this is where I was like, I wanted to do something different, more at like going to the root of the reason I would even want to do that.
Yeah.
So when I started looking into this, I was like, all right, it's like this thing I'm doing for a new behavior and expansion for this year. I stopped saying the word love. and I'm focused on using other words like I adorn you, I appreciate you, what just words and actions that are aside from love, right? And it was a chance for me to expand. So when I started looking into this, I said, what are the things that I want someone to really know about me, right? To know if this is the place that I want to get into. Like if I'm doing a job interview, I got to look at things very technical, B, because I have a horrible picker. So I got to like this is like a way of my higher self being like, okay, Paul, let's sit down. You like the voice too, right? Let's sit down and figure out your user's manual. And I'm like, okay, higher self. That's my voice because I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
what are we gonna talk about? And the
Mhm.
higher self is saying, what are the core values and beliefs? Okay, what are the core values and beliefs? So this was the first thing that came into this, and to be completely transparent, peoples, I know people have a thing about AI and like it is what that is. But I use Chat GPT and I said, hey, listen, knowing what you know about me, create a user manual that I could present to a woman I'm interested in being in romantic relationship with. Okay. Chat GPT, it knows you better than you think, was like, brrr. Now, mind you, I made adjustments because some of the things I'm like, I don't care about that. And it had me think of some things that I wanted to look at. So, for example, core values and beliefs. Here's what my four are. And actually, be like, because you had an interesting situation with Hayani, right? Because I remember you saying, like, you all had that talk about what it means to be in relationship. So when you had that talk, was core values and beliefs, was that something that was mixed in with the conversation you had?
Well, we started off with like I just made a lot of mistakes in relationships and just been with a lot of like different women that I knew I shouldn't have been with,
Yeah.
but it was mostly like I don't know, whatever the reason was. And then I think a lot of relationships, they have issues within the relationships, not because of communication, but because of expectations that aren't met. So I try to lay out all the expectations of what I want to do to build myself up, because then once you're fulfilled, then you can start building healthy relationships. A lot of people do the opposite. They feel empty inside and they look for external things like women or relationships or money or whatever like that to kind of fill that need.
Yeah.
I want to fulfill my needs first, then the relationships I know will be much better. So like for certain things when I first met her, it was like the first time in my life. I was like, when I met her, it was like 43, 44. And I was like, this is the first time I'm actually making money, like
Yeah.
making good money in my life. And I was like, I want to travel,
Yeah.
and I started maybe like making good money, like maybe like 6 or 7 months before I met her. I was off in a different country like every 6 weeks. I'm like for like 2 weeks at a time, just like seeing the world, and I love it. And when I met her, I was like, I know I can't do that all the time because when she had a kid when I met her, but I was like, hey, let's come to an agreement like where I can travel. Of course, like, I want you to come with me, but there's certain places I want to go to, like third world countries where I don't feel comfortable bringing a baby with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
So
course.
we came to an agreement. We're like, all right, she's like, I'll give you 3 trips a year where you can go no more than like 10 to 12 days at a time. And I was like, that's perfect. Let's do it. And then
Yeah.
she had things like that she wanted from me. And I was like, oh, that's no problem. I can do that.
Mhm.
Um, she is one of the best, such a good heart, like doesn't have a bad bone in her body.
Yeah.
Like just like no matter, like she's super like religious, like she believes in God and everything like that, believes in everything in the Bible and everything like that. I personally don't believe that. I'm more spiritual, but if that's what fulfills her to make our relationship better, and she's such a good person, I'm like, you do you. Like I have no judgment whatsoever in it. You know, if she doesn't believe in like spirituality, she doesn't believe in reincarnation, hey, totally cool. Like I don't need you to believe in that. That's what fulfills me. Then we meet in the middle. So it's all good.
Yeah.
And honestly, why would I want to be in a relationship that somebody believes exactly what I believe in everything? I don't want to date myself. I don't want to marry myself.
Right, exactly.
You
Where's
know,
the growth there? Where's
yeah.
the growth?
So it's yeah. So I gave her my verbal user manual, and she gave me hers. So
B, so you right there. Listen, when I go over some of these other things, you've done this.
yeah,
You've done this because why is that, Paul? Because you're aware, bro. You've taken the time to reflect and integrate. This tool, I believe, is to help people get to where you are because everything you're saying, bro, you've got to know yourself and respect. What I'm hearing in everything and what you were saying, summing it up, was you have respect for yourself and know yourself enough to have respect for your partner
yeah,
and come to an agreement that suits both of you.
yeah. If you don't have enough, you don't have love for yourself, or you don't have respect for yourself, you can't give it to somebody.
Who
So
can you give it to, bro?
you can't give anything you don't have.
Right.
So that's the again that like kind of goes back to my point earlier. You know, so many people are empty inside and they lack things inside. They look for external things to make them happy. You're just putting a band-aid over the symptom.
What's that last part you said?
Putting a band-aid over the symptom. You
Thank
know,
you. I just want to make sure I did hear you correctly. Yes,
yeah,
brother. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, most people, and I'm making a judgment. I'm completely aware of this. Most people will take months to get this,
mm-hmm.
to really settle into what do you believe in. Like, listen, when I'm hearing you talk about this, and bro, the reason why I asked you is because I heard this in you when you told me the first time. I'm like, Joe, that's what I remember. First time you told me, I was like, yo, bro, that's my dude right there.
Yeah,
I'm like this. I'm like taking notes. I'm like, see, yep, that's what I want. Relationship. Take because, bro, because the way relationships are set up right now, they're based, in my judgment, again, they're based on these expectations that no one discusses and no one agrees upon.
yeah,
So now all of a sudden, it's this out for disruption, or this opening more for disruption. So knowing what you believe in, what's at, oh, I say core and beliefs. My apologies. Look at what I did there. Knowing what, like, I'm gonna put it at core values. What do you value? Because people, and if you didn't hear what Brian said, one of the things I heard him say, he valued travel. He also valued the kid. He's like, yo, I'm going to some places. I'm not bringing the child, bro. But we're going to go to Cali, though. We're going to have a good time. We still have a, you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's the beauty. And that's why I one of the things, like, listen, and this is not like, hey, you got to do it like how I do it. That's bullcrap. The sole reason I brought this to Brian, and I want us to talk about this here for well-being, is because these are things we want you to start to come into your focus. When I'm coaching men and I talk to them about what they believe in, this in itself is it can be 3 to 4 sessions
yeah,
because it's important to have some sort of container so you can start to believe in what this is. Now, when I talked about core values, and to let you know some of mine that I've put in here, purpose and service. Like, I'm driven, a strong sense of mission, helping others find their purpose, personal growth and transformation. I believe healing, mentorship, and helping others navigate, helping myself and others navigate challenges, whether through writing, coaching, or working with men, intent on evolving and supporting others and doing the same. These are things that I believe in. Why do we talk about that? Because if you're staying on your purpose, you want someone in your life that can honor that. But again, you got to honor that first. Cool.
amen. Yeah.
Relationship preferences.
Why do you
What?
think? Why do you think people get into relationships without having this conversation first?
Because they don't want people. Most people don't want to have real conversations.
I think
Most
most
people
people,
don't want.
yeah, I agree, and they don't want to have those real conversations. They just want to be in a relationship. They
Mm-hmm.
don't care about the quality of the relationship. They're just lonely and they want to be in a relationship. And the first couple months, it's great, man. You're up late, you're drinking, you're partying, you're having great sex. You know, that's all it is. Then after that honeymoon phase, and things start getting a little serious, you start spending a little more time with them. You kind of start seeing their tendencies. That's when people really find out
Yeah.
what
It
what
gives.
that person is about. And most 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to like what you're with. And if you still have that emptiness inside of you, you know what's going to happen? You're going to tolerate it longer and longer and longer. We've all been in those relationships before. So, and eventually they fall apart. So it's better just to have it up front, have it fall apart up front, and don't waste your time for months and years and whatever it is. You got it, man. I probably wasted decades with women. I mean, I don't wasted it. You know, every relationship it bettered me as a person, and I grew as a person. I evolved as a person because I learned from it. But like I look back, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Yeah, she was hot, but oh my god, do I want to deal with that? Like, you know.
I know, dude. Dude. Listen. Oh
Yeah.
my God, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Yes, I agree. And listen, I agree with everything you just said because I've wasted a lot. I'm doing my best to get out saying I wasted because it was a learn. Like, it
I
was
don't like
definitely
that. I don't like that. Yeah, I
yeah,
learned a lot. I
yeah,
evolved.
I learned. And you and I on the same page. I'm like, we hold each other accountable on that.
Yeah.
And I think, and you said something that's important, right? Because when people fail to have this conversation, they'll tolerate. And the one thing I would add to the one piece of wisdom I would add to that wisdom is they'll tolerate and repeat.
Yes.
So they'll tolerate until they get smacked around and get out of the relationship. Then, if they fail to check in with, hey, what are my core values and beliefs or my relationship preferences, and get to really know themselves, they're gonna repeat the cycle, and they're gonna learn more lessons. They're gonna learn today. Here's something. You know what I mean? They're gonna learn, bro. So look, so this other piece, right, that I had, and I'm looking at mine as I'm going through this, are relationship preferences. Now, this one is interesting, right? Because when this came up, I was like, what? What does that mean? So I had to even sit on this for a while. But when I thought about it, I was like, well, what do I prefer to have in a relationship? So for me, communication, being able to have uncomfortable conversations. I noticed for me, like I used to avoid those, Brian, when I was younger,
Yeah.
because I had this thought in my head that, well, I don't want this person not to like me. I don't want to get in a conflict. But then I recognize, especially as I really settled into passion, that I can have a conversation with someone and it be uncomfortable and we still make it through. Like, as long as I'm willing to stay in it and hear what the person has to say and be empathetic and be compassionate. And that's a practice at times, man, because like a lot of times I don't want to hear what they have to say, but like it's necessary for me to hear that, or to get guidance to. So communication was one of my relationship preferences, because if I fail to communicate with my partner, it's a tough one, man, to get past, man. And I struggle with that sometimes, because sometimes I'm like, let me sort this out first. Now I still got to be able to communicate that. Like, hey, Paul, what's wrong? Yes, something's wrong. I need to sort this out first. Can we talk about this tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, okay, cool. And talk about it tomorrow, right? Like, hey, all right, so what was going on yesterday? Or being able to like renegotiate, like, hey, listen, can I get back to you this? Like, that's something, like, for me, I have that relationship preferences because this is something I constantly have to work on, bro.
Yeah.
I constantly choose to work on, because it's just, yeah, consistency with that.
But you know what? Like, if you have to have a hard conversation to say with your significant other, they might
Yeah,
not like it. They might not like you at the time, but I'll tell you what, they're going to respect you more. And it's not about being like authoritative and being like, this is what's going to happen. It's
right.
about being open and saying what's on your mind. And when you do that in a certain tone, they'll respect you more than somebody who's just like a pushover. You know how many guys I see that are just like, yes, 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 all the time to their wife. Listen, I'll do anything for my wife. Like, if she asks, I'll do anything for her. But
Yeah,
like, sometimes, like, you know, you're in a marriage. Sometimes it's like, all right, you need to chill for a second.
yeah.
You know, like, we need to have a conversation. Like, this is getting out of hand. Not that I have anything, like, any specific examples, but in the past with relationships where, like, it's almost like you know, give them an inch, they take a mile sometimes, you know.
But
And I'm not saying it with my wife, I'm saying in past
in past
relationships.
relationships, right,
In
right.
case my wife is watching this, I love you more. Like, I love you know, you don't do
Yeah.
anything wrong, you're perfect.
Yeah, yeah, man. But the thing is, you can be that way, right? And you can kiss up like that. No,
Yeah.
but no, you can. You have Hayani right now because you've experienced that.
Yeah.
Right. And you got the lesson from that. So you can be in this space and be like, all right, hold on. Like, yeah, okay, let's talk about this first, though.
Yeah.
Rather than be like, okay, okay. Now,
Yeah.
this is the thing, though, too, B, especially for men. There's that conditioning, like, hey, happy wife, happy wife, happy life.
Mm-hmm.
Say yes, she's always right. You don't know shit. Ha ha. Hold up. That'll lead you into ruin, bruv.
Yeah.
Guys out
I
there, that leads you into ruin.
I agree. Listen, you sometimes you gotta pick your battles and you lose a couple, but when it comes to a point where they just I see a lot of times in relationships, one person is always the doormat at one point, and they don't say anything because again, they just like to be in relationships. I talked to one of my friends, she's been in a relationship for like 6 or 7 years now, and she's like, she wants to get engaged. And the guy still hasn't got engaged. I'm like, well, have you had that conversation? And he goes, no, I don't want to push it. I'm like, if that you feel strongly about it, you need to have a sit down with him and be like, listen, where's this going? If it's not going anywhere, you need to cut the cord. And being too passive into that is not good. You lost respect for yourself, and I guarantee that person lost respect for you because you're in a relationship for 6, 7 years, and that conversation hasn't come up yet. That's a red flag. That's a marching band of red flags, in my opinion. People disagree. You know. So you need to have these conversations.
Bruh, when you said that, I just had this flash of this vision of some cat standing in the middle of the field, this big ass red flag, like, look out,
Yeah.
look out. Dude, but
Yeah.
like this is and me, I mean, I can say this because I've been in this situation, right? It took me a long time for me to leave my marriage because I was like, well, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I was refusing to have those tough conversations. And I would eventually have them in therapy, but it would just not even be received. And I was like, ah, man, whatever. But I
Yeah.
think it's important that that communication is involved. And listen, there's a whole bunch of stuff out here about love language and INF and then the P and the PP and the some kind of Briggs and all these assessments. Yes and no. Like,
Yeah.
what you can take all the assessments you want and like you can tell me your initials. And the main thing I'm gonna ask you is who are you, bro? Without your name and your profession, who are you?
Yeah.
And I'll sit and wait with you, bro.
Yeah, the human mind is so complex that you're never going to break it down in an objective way with 20 multiple choice questions. Like I'm an ENFP on the Myers-Briggs. What the hell does that mean? I know a lot of ENFPs. I would never even like I'm like, there's no way you're nothing like me, nor will I ever get in a relationship with you, nor do I want to be friends with you.
Right, right.
Like,
It's
what
like,
does
come
that
on,
mean?
man.
I
Come on.
get the idea, you're trying to put people. That's the problem with our society, too. They try to put everyone in a box. No one can mingle. Everyone's got to be in their own little section.
Yeah,
But
bro, it's freaking crazy.
it's
Now,
another.
and it's interesting, but I want before I move to the next one, I want to bring up this other relationship preference I have that you also mentioned when you were talking about that relationship conversation with Ayani. And
Mhm.
for me, it's respect for individuality. I think this is I think it's for me it's important as a relationship preference because especially when I talk about my core values and some of the other things like what I bring to the table, what you can expect, the challenges. Listen, what I do, like, bro, my schedule, like, bro, I work from 9 to 5. I'm usually having a mentee call in the morning, something in the evening after work, and then fitting in my health and well-being, and then my reading and my alone time. So like I gotta have if I'm gonna be in a relationship, you get to know, like, yo, there's gonna be some times my time is out and I need my time and I want our time and I want you to have your time, man. Like because I think that's key for growth, and that's as a matter of fact, that's another of my relationship preferences: mutual growth. How are we supporting each other in our growth? If one, because you mentioned before, be like, there's gonna be one time one person's up here, one person's up here, and that could be okay because sometimes, like, listen, if my partner if she's doing some things and my girl's like, yo, I'm working on this, And I might have a low period, like, okay, cool. Hey, how can I support you? Anything you need?
Yeah.
And when I'm up here and she may have a low time, I get to have that communication, be like, hey, listen, while you're here, can you support me in this?
Yeah.
All right, yo, bless up. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, go. Here's that on your booty. Like to me, like that's something in people when we're talking about a user guide, it's important for you to understand what are those types of things or what are those fertile grounds that you require in a relationship for it to thrive and grow.
Yeah. For me, I need personal time. I need to have,
Mm-hmm.
for me, like optimally, I need to have like 2 hours a day to do that. And
Yeah.
just to have my me time. So I wake up before everyone else wakes up, and I do my meditation, I do my visualization, I do my work and everything like that. And that me time allows the relationship to flourish. If I miss that me time, I'll be in the relationship. We'll go out. I'll go out with the kid. We'll go hang out at the park or whatever like that, go on a trip or whatever like that. But I'm not going to be 100% in the relationship at that time. My mind's going to be
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else because I didn't charge my battery that morning. So that's
Yeah.
important to me. Where she likes to be around people all the time. That's her thing. Like, she's a Latin woman. Like they go in groups. I'm like a
Community,
no.
bro.
Like I'm good. Like I don't need to see anybody for a month, and I'm like good.
Bro. Oh man.
But like I know, I mean,
Two
I
peas
would
in a
spend
pod,
time
bro.
with them, but like I'm okay. I mean, I have no problem being a couple days with myself in the middle of nowhere. Like I've done it, I've been there before, but
Right.
like I need my me time for the relationship to get evolve and go to that next level.
Yes, brother. I appreciate you saying that, man. And I really appreciate how you two are in relationship in that regard. And I want to bring in another piece that I heard you talk about before. Um, and I think it's important when it comes to relationship preferences and the need for individuality, or my preference for individuality, is honoring the person's spiritual or religious foundation. I
Yeah,
think that's something in relationships that could be a sticking point. Religion and politics, right? Those can be two different things. Uh, and if here I'm saying love, but if you love and adore someone, then you can see past those things and allow them to have it, right?
yeah,
Like in my judgment, like look, if I'm listen, if I love the Knicks and my girl loves the 76ers, we're gonna go to the game and chop it up. I'm not gonna be like, I can never go out the 76ers fan, especially if she got a nice badunkadunk, bro. I'll be like, yo, I'll put that aside. But like,
yeah,
I'm just saying, like, there's those things, those individual, and I'm making light of it, but I think even religion, if I'm a Jehovah's Witness or if I'm a Christian and they're a Protestant, okay, hey, cool, you're gonna go to church, cool. I'm gonna read more. I'm gonna read the Bible or read the Emerald tablets or something. But hey, respect what I do, and I'm gonna respect you, and that's I think that's a key piece, bro.
yeah, exactly. I mentioned this before. Like, why would I want to date somebody like myself? And a lot of people go in the relation. I was a great Einstein quote he said that the reason marriages don't work out is because men go into relationships with women hoping they don't change, and women go into relationships with men hoping they do change. So like why, like for most relationships, like why would you want that person to be more like you, to fit you?
For
Like
what? Yeah.
every like there never was another Hayani, there never is going to be another Hayani ever. So like for me, I'm like blessed that I have like an original person that'll never exist again or has never existed. And I want her to be original as possible. I want her to be as authentic as possible. All the time I'm talking to them like, hey, what do you want out of life? Like, what do you want? You want to go back to school? You want to do this? I support you, whatever you want to do. Like, I want
Yeah.
you to flourish, you know?
Yeah.
And it's beautiful because then it becomes a symbiotic relationship when, I help her out. We're doing something. Then maybe down the road, I'm like, hey, I really want to do this. And like, she has no problem saying yes because she's fulfilled now with
Yeah.
her authenticity. She's living her dharma. And that brings out unconditional love. And then she'll want to do the same for me. So it's
Mm,
like that.
mm.
Do it. I just make a point. Like, I don't do things for her hoping to get something in return. That's not what I'm saying. I
No,
do I
exactly.
do that out of pure love.
Yeah.
And I want her to live her. I want her to live her dharma.
Yeah, brother. Thank you so much for saying that last part about you do it free of any expectation.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, bro. Because I think that's important for people to understand, and I think that's one of the things in relationship that people will tend to do. I'm speaking for myself, right? Like I can be in relationship, and there's a part of me that'll be like, yo, they better do. Yo, as soon as I start the date better, yo,
Yeah.
well, hold up, chill, bro. Like, and if there's a part of me thinking that, then guess what?
Yeah.
Step back a second.
Yeah.
Let me step back.
That's your ego talking. That's not authentic.
It's not authentic, bro. It's not authentic at all. I really appreciate that individuality piece, man, because I think well, and I want to touch before I move on to the next piece. I want to say being in a relationship and someone giving you that may be uncomfortable at first to receive. I'm speaking for myself because I had to teach myself and be taught on what that can look like because I never really knew what that was, right?
Yeah.
So it was uncomfortable in the beginning. I was like, yo, man, hold up, man. You trying to change me? But then like and this came more from like mentors, right? Not necessarily relationship yet. I've yet to have this in relationship. For my mentors, allowing that space for me to kind of figure out how I receive these people giving me the space because it was really someone like what Brian and Hayani have is really allowing the space for you to grow your own way, bro.
Yeah.
That's freaking so beautiful
Yeah.
because we change, we adjust, we shift, and there's no expectation like, yo, I'm gonna adore you however you show up because that's your growth.
Yeah. It's like I've always been very self-sufficient, very independent. And then we got married or we started dating. I guess it's like, I don't want to categorize it, but it's like categorize people, but like being a Latin woman, it's like they just want to take care of their man. And I've never dated anyone like this. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'll wake up in the morning, she'll have breakfast for me. Or she'll, I get up before, but she'll get up and she'll like cook breakfast for me. Then she'll like, I'll come home, I'll be working, all of a sudden like lunch and dinner at my feet. And I'm like, to me in the beginning, I was like, you don't need to do anything. Like I can make my own food, but
Yeah.
that's a way of her showing love to me. And in the meantime, I'm working on my businesses. I'm not in the kitchen cooking and prepping my food and everything like that, and my business are blowing up. They're doing very well. And now we can go on like great vacations. We can save money. We can do this and all this other stuff. So it just kind of like, it's just a beautiful, like everything is just kind of coming together. But it took me a while. Like, I don't like when people do things for me. That's obviously an issue I need to work on. But like, I've always been very independent and I feel awkward when it's like, so even to this day, when somebody gives me praise, like, oh, shout out to Brian, he did this. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like, I kind of deflected a little bit. Now I got to learn to kind of like accept it in a humble way. But that was different for me too. So I get what you're saying. It could be uncomfortable.
Yeah, bro, and that's okay.
Yeah,
because like, listen, if like, and again, I just want to highlight something I heard you say for the people that I think is important is that once you are able to take that in, I heard you say now you can focus on the biz.
yeah,
You're not taking that energy to be over here because you have a partner that sees you and you're allowing her, right? People, I got to recognize, and a mentor told me this, like, yo, you're taking away someone's medicine by you're taking away someone's joy by refusing their medicine. And I'm like, what? Yeah, they want to do that for you, and you're taking that away. Who are you?
yeah.
Like,
When you look at that perspective, you're like, okay,
yeah.
I get it. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, well, all right. Now, listen, here's the next one we'll bring in, bro. And B, we may even have to split this up into two parts. Maybe, who knows? Well, we'll see. So listen, the next one here is a conversation that is all out here, right? And I'm not talking, listen, fellas, I'm not talking about, hey, what I bring to the table is, again, this is beyond your vocation. This is beyond like your salary or your Johnson size. Ladies, this is beyond your bus size or BBL or what you do for a living and the places that you've been and the restaurants you went to. Okay. What do you bring to the table? So here's a couple examples. One of the things I bring to the table is a visionary mindset. spiritual depth, like a visionary mindset. Like I'm always thinking about like, yo, damn, that could be cool. What if we did this? What if we did that? I'm a tinkerer, right? I love visioning things. Like that's what I love about meditation. I'm like, oh man, I smell strawberries up here. Yeah, bro. Like I love getting into that, right? So that's something I bring to the table. And I'm gonna bring that to the table. Like, and this would be when we were talking about before, like, I don't want to get stuck in this and that. Like, I use this because, hey, listen, can we go meditate together? You know what I mean? Like, I just want to I want to hold your hands and like I was visioning for what this year is gonna look like. You know what I'm saying, bro?
I love it.
And that can happen anytime. Now, here's another one too: spiritual depth. Right? When I say spiritual depth, listen, I'm that dude. Like, if we're talking a conversation, like, oh my goodness, I saw a dung beetle on my freaking step today. I'm that cat that's going to be calling you like, yo, I just looked up the spiritual significance of dung beetle and saying that right now in your life, you're going through some growth and you need to talk to your father. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I've been there.
Yo, bro, you know what I'm saying, bro? So,
Yeah.
so this is what I'm talking about. Like, and when we look at this, right, I'm gonna label this another way because like in indigenous populations, what I bring to the table, and I mentioned this before, can also be labeled as what is your medicine. Who are like, yo, like I have a focus on well-being. Like as I'm navigating this for myself, I help others navigate the same. I'm a supporter, bro. I'm like, yo, you all right? You need a hug? Yo, you want some ice cream? I got two good ears. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what is that thing that you can list out that you know, like if you're giving this to your business partner, your romantic partner, whoever, like, hey, listen, this is what I'm bringing to the table to this whole container. So that's that piece. B, what's some stuff you like now hearing that? What's some stuff you bring to the table, bro? What's your medicine, bro?
We're
What do
very
you
similar in a lot of ways. I'm a visionary person. I plan out my future where I want to be. I'm big into visualization, so I have to plan that out.
mm,
I'm very goal oriented. I'm super ambitious. Like, and once I hit a goal, I'm like, what's next? Let's go. What's next? And I think bigger. I
mm,
think bigger without any kind of limitations. I bring consistent personal growth, professional growth. I drive, very empathetic towards people, very compassionate towards people. My phone is always on for my people that are in my inner circle. If you're not in my inner circle, I'm going to take a message and I'll get back to you when I can.
hey,
Yeah, that's some of the boundaries I set, you know. But yeah, I'm just. I guess that's it. I can't. That's what I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
nah, bro, listen. And that's and see, because you're aware, so you're able to extract those, right? This is
Yeah,
what I'm talking about. Like, and you, people, if you've been here on this journey with us, and one of our subscribers, you heard Brian and I talk about journaling, writing things down. And this is where you really start to get into the depths of it because when it comes to relationships, I think what I appreciate about this part of the exercise is I think that in our society there's a conditioning to the material. Like, okay, like in the men's space, it's like men complain about women want the sixes, like 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 inches, blah blah blah. And I'm like, is that okay? Like, who's saying that? And basically, they're like, you keep repeating that, you're instilling that in your head.
yeah,
So you think you gotta make this rather than being like, yo, I just want to be on point. Like this, like, hey, this is who I am. That shows up in a whole bunch of ways, but it's not just like, hey, I make 250 a year. Okay,
yeah,
when that's
yeah,
gone, what happens, bruh?
yeah. Yeah, I feel like when you're young, you have that kind of mentality.
Of course, yeah.
Listen, I've been there in my 20s and like I just want to party. I didn't care what your morals and values were. If you're hot, I'm like, let's go out. Let's try to make this work. Knowing that it's not going to work. It's like, it's gonna be like a shit show circus. But you just do dumb things. But as you get older, you start reflecting, and it's like you don't care about that stuff. You don't care about money. You don't care about you just kind of care about experiences. You care about family more, care about your health. And as time starts winding down, you just do more reflection, and you're
Yeah.
like, what can I leave behind? What kind of legacy can I leave behind? And I meditate on this a lot. I'm like, all right, you know, when I pass away, or when I exchange this meat suit for another one, like, and somebody's reading my eulogy, like, what are they going to say about me? I don't want people saying, oh, he had money, or, you know, he drove a nice car, or he had, you know, 10,000 Instagram followers. No one gives a shit about that. And it's going to be forgotten. I want this person to be like, oh man, this guy, you know, helped me out when I was in need and didn't say anything to anybody who was on the DL, or, you know, like, just being like an overall, like, good human.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and helping people out. I want to help a lot of people out. I want to start charities. I want to do all this like cool stuff that I can leave behind. So when
Bruh.
I'm pulling up in heaven during that little limbo phase, I can look down or be like, all right, okay, I did good. I did this. I did that. All right, I'm proud of myself. Let's get back
Right.
down. Let's get back down there and do another hero's journey.
Let's go. Let's go. Like, okay, I made some major steps, man. Listen,
Yeah,
but bro, this is what I'm talking about, B, right? Us being able to have these conversations. That's why I encourage more couples to have these kind of open conversations, to talk about it. Because,
yeah,
bro, I felt your energy there, bro. If
yeah.
more couples could feel each other's energy, bro, like on that real authentic shit, like they'd realize that's what love is, bro.
That is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, you feel like when you see your, like, man, dude, like, even though, man, like, my former wife is a pain in my left testicle, bro, I swear to goodness, I want to see her win, bro.
Yeah,
And that's part of what frustrates me about the whole situation I have with her. I was like, bro, I'm like, I can't stand you right now, but like, I love you. Like, I adore you. I appreciate you birthing this kid that we have a problem that we were fighting over, but like, yo, he's here.
yeah.
Right? Like, I appreciate you.
Well,
I want you healthy.
and that's
You
the
know?
definition of spirituality, right? Is becoming closer to wholeness. And you're getting the ego out of the way, even though she's a pain in the ass. You want her to win because you understand if she wins on the bigger scale, you win.
Right, bro. We all win, son.
Win.
We
We
all
all
win.
People
Listen,
don't get that. People don't get that because they're not spiritually evolving, or they don't understand how how really life works. And you know, it's, you know, that's another episode.
brother, listen, man. Yeah, and we may have to do a part 2 on this because I got a couple more sections, but we'll see. We'll talk about it. But like this, damn, man, bro. I so thank you. I just want to, I appreciate you and thank you again for let's exploring this with me, because I'm really happy we're getting this kind of information out, because I really want to see more people, and because I work with men, I want to see more men in fulfilling, blissful relationships, bro. And that
Yeah.
starts here. That starts all up in this in your own meat soup, bro. It's what it is, man. So listen, this last one we're gonna leave you with before we wrap up. People talk about, hey, and we talked about this a little bit, right? And before, be about expectations. What can I expect from this person? So instead of saying what are the expectations, I put it here. I switched this as, what can you expect from me? This is the stuff where I'm like, yo, listen, this at my freaking, in my DNA and in that thing that in my telomeres for my aging process, these are the things that I am, right? This is what you can expect from me. So when I was looking at that, like, challenges, life will have its challenges and I'm resilient in facing them. I align with a partner who can weather the storms with me on their own or as a unit, and together we can and will emerge stronger. You can expect an adventurous spirit. We're going to try some new things. We're going to embrace some new experiences, whether through travel, because Brian, you know my objective, or shared hobbies. I want to explore life with you by my side. And vulnerability. I believe in being open about what I'm experiencing. I will share my fears, my insecurities, my hopes, and in return, I want some vulnerability. And I'm looking for vulnerability and honesty from you. Looking for, not expecting. You better. No.
Yeah.
Why did I say it like this? Because if I put expectations on somebody else, it's going to fail. When I say this is what you can expect from me, I am confident in these things in myself. So this is what you get. Like, and it's not like, hey, this is what I bring. No, this is when it comes to life. Yo, listen, you can expect you weathering some stuff. Yo, let's get our rain suit on. Let's go. Because B, you know my stories, man. I've been through some stuff, bro, and I still navigate.
Yeah, you're a very resilient person. That's one of the things that I admire most. One of the things I admire most about you. You're very resilient. You've been kicked in the teeth a few times, a lot of times, and you're still pushing ahead. That's important. It's important. You're still evolving. You still have goals in life. Or a lot of people just sit on the sidelines. They, victim role, poor me, and they just settle for anyone that that has a pulse.
Yeah, bro. No, not.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen, bro. And brother, thank you for acknowledging that, man. But I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. And listen, this can be part of this whole user guide, right? Is when a person shares this with another, there's opportunity for acknowledgement, man. Like, yo, yeah, you know what? Oh, really? Because even if the person, like, if I'm like Brian and I know each other, so he's seen that in me over the years. And if I'm sharing this with a person, this is great conversation here. Like, what? Like, yo, what challenge have you been through? Well, listen, back in 2020, I had both of my hips replaced. I had to learn to walk again. You know what I mean? Like, what? I tell people that, they're like, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I forget, bro. But it gets you to share. And that person gets to know you.
And the more vulnerable, the more open you are, the more authentic you are, you're gonna attract people that need that. So many people are just so closed up and they're so scared to let themselves go. Like, I have a problem, I think, where like I wear everything on my sleeves. Like, I tell everybody everything. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but like, people are like, why did you share that with that person? Like, they just met you. I'm like, well, listen, man, if I can open up and I can be genuine with somebody and authentic with somebody, maybe they'll be more authentic themselves, and maybe I make that person a better person, or I help that person, evolve to the next step, or maybe we have a great relationship, or whatever it is. I don't care what other people think. I really don't. A lot of people say, oh, I care what people think. I don't care. Like, it's just white noise in the background. I'm walking around just being me, and very few people, I should say, I care. I think what they care. Those are my people in my inner circle, but otherwise, man, the rest of the 99.9999% of people out there don't care what you think.
Bro, exactly. Dude,
Care.
that's what I'm talking about.
I don't have enough time in my day to care what you think. I'm so busy on other things,
Brother. And listen, B, what you like, this is another reason why I dig this, right? Because there's so much distraction and white noise through your apps, through this, through that, social media, do this, go to here.
Yeah.
Yo, hey, I'm giving you, like, listen, first of all, I even go over the rules of this, right? But like, if I'm giving you this, you're a candidate for us being in partnership.
Yeah.
If you ain't getting this, guess what? It's you're not gonna be around me once. You're not gonna be around me long term. This is a short time. But I'm like, yo, I see some potential in us. Hey, listen, I want to give you this user manual. I want you to review this, man. Let's take a look at this. Let's see what we could do. Right? Because I want somebody, I want to be free of the riffraff, bro. I want quality in my space. Come on now, bro.
I got a good idea, Paul. What you can do, instead of giving the manual, just tell them to tune into this episode. Now we get more views.
Yeah, listen. I need you to like the way you think, son.
And I need you to watch episode 84. And if I see a like button or a thumbs up, it's gonna work. If not, hey, best of luck.
That's the criteria. Yo, if you put a thumbs up on this episode, you get the user manual.
Yeah.
Yo, B, this was fun, man. There's some other things I got in this, right? Like, like, what I need from a partner, things I appreciate. I put in sexual relations and food preferences and potential challenges. But we can, like, I would love to go over those again. We could do in another episode. But for right now, these are 4 good starts. And again, you can pick and choose what you want, but I'm sharing, like, from my perspective and just reasons why these types of things are important to communicate with the person that you care about, that you want to spend time with. So, and there it is, bro.
There it
Good.
is.
Hey man, this was fun, man. I'm looking forward to coming back for it to go over the other stuff.
Yeah, this was good. I wasn't a little sure where this was going to go.
I know. I love it.
Like it. I had a lot of fun with this one. This was good.
Yeah, bro. Listen, yeah, man. Listen, we have a good time.
Good,
For
good time.
people, listen, yeah, bro, always, man. So listen, people, you enjoy this, please share it, right? If you're, again, remember I said, if you're looking to be in relationship, whether it's romantic, social, business, these are different things you can look at for yourself. Jot down some notes. We labeled them here. So, and there'll be the show notes. So if you want to go by the show notes on certain things that we talked to, check out the comments in the show notes, and they'll give you everything you need. So until next time, B, any last words, bro?
Nothing.
All right. Peace, everybody. Peace.